we go. Hello, everyone. I'm Linda Nickell. Leslie Sessoms is also here, and we are the moderators for the Facebook page, Texas Women Photographers Circle. Our friend Charlie Hickman is stepping down as a moderator, and we'd love to have another moderator. So if you're interested, please reach out to either Leslie or myself. Some of you may not be on Facebook, so we've created an Instagram page at Texas Women Photographers, and we will post all of the monthly meetings so that you can join us. Every month, I will introduce you to a guest that will inspire you to try something new that will help you improve your own photography. These virtual meetups are open to every woman, so please feel free to let your friends know about them. Our guest tonight is Karen Riley. Karen Riley is an art teacher, a macro, and a still life photographer. She's also a published writer. She self-published her first book last year called Composition: 15 Photography Tips to Creating Captivating Images, which can be found on Amazon.com. Her recent assignment as a photo stylist can be seen on the cover of the latest magazine for Texas Gardener. In her presentation, Artist Statements, Bios, Headshots, and Why You Need Them, Karen will explain what an artist statement is and how to create one for your own work. She'll discuss how your About Me page can help you come across as credible, approachable, and likable to your audience. But more importantly, when an audience understands your process as a creative, it helps them connect with your art. And finally, Karen will give you some ideas about grouping your work and describing the pieces in a meaningful way. You can connect with Karen through her website at homeplate101.com or on Instagram at homeplate_101. If you have any questions, just place them in the chat and I'll put those in front of her. So, Ms. Karen, thank you and welcome to the Texas Women Photographers Circle. You are somebody that I don't know, there's going to be a point I'm pretty sure you're going to block me and I wouldn't blame you. But for a brief and add to that little intro, Karen is one of my frequent speakers at my happiness hour. So she is no stranger to teaching and sharing what she knows. So with that, Karen, I'm going to thank you personally. I guess I'm going to buy dinner again soon. And with that, I'm going to let you just get into your program because I know you have a lot to cover.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. Just a little bit about myself before I jump in. I've been an art teacher for over 8 years and I've helped coordinate a few art competitions. I always require my students to create an artist statement for any competition where they submit their work. I can tell you that occasionally a student with a more compelling artist statement will win over a student that has strong skills but cannot relate their piece to the theme. And students that have both skills and a strong statement usually win easily. Because most of the entries are my students, I don't judge the contest, but I almost always tally the results. So I can see the notes and thought process of the judge. So this is what we're going to talk about: artist statements, bios, headshots, why you need them, and how to create them. And these are the topics that I'm going to cover this evening. An artist statement, what is it? Why do you need it? And how do you create one? The About Me page, what you need to include: a headshot, bio, awards and accomplishments, and themes, grouping your artwork in a meaningful way. Okay, an artist statement. According to Gurpreet Singh, an artist statement is a brief description of your artwork that shapes the viewer's perspective when they're looking at your art. It is the first point of communication between you as an artist and the viewer. Think of this as a complement to your resume or bio. Now, why do you need it? There's a lot of reasons why you might need an artist statement. If you enter a contest, the organizer will likely ask you for one. For potential buyers, it's a great introduction to yourself, your work on your website or your Facebook page. And I think people like to buy from people that they feel like they know. If your work is showcased in any kind of venue, you will likely need one. If you're published, the magazine or website will usually request one, and you want this information to be included about you so that you will appear in more online searches. Also, as an artist statement helps you to focus your efforts and create a body of work that shows your style. And don't worry, you can change your style over time, and then you can change your artist statement. For example, Andy Warhol, the American pop artist famous for Marilyn Monroe prints and Campbell soup cans, started as a very successful commercial illustrator for magazines. His style definitely changed over time. And lastly, and maybe most importantly, it is a way to connect to your viewer when you're not right there to meet people who are looking at your art. So if you need more convincing, when people look at your art, they will automatically start to evaluate it. Your viewer will base their ideas on their own previous experience if you don't tell them about the photograph and what you were trying to convey or what you were experiencing when you took the picture. It's also an opportunity to answer questions that your audience might have without actually being there. So let's go over some do's and don'ts before we craft an artist statement. Okay, do have a compelling opening. You want to grab your viewer's attention right away. Keep it short, concise, and to the point. It can be as short as a paragraph, but please don't make it longer than one page. Use language that is understandable to your viewer, even if they're not a photographer. Stay away from technical terms that the average person might not know. Write in the active voice, and I'll give you an example. I like to grow my own flowers for pictures. Use I instead of you. Check and double check your spelling and grammar. Your writing says something about your professionalism and attention to detail. Give a few interesting details about yourself and your photography. Include a little bit about how and why you create your shots. Ask friends or family to proofread and give you feedback before you publish it or send it to a potential client. Now for the don'ts. Don't be arrogant. You can be confident and truthful without bragging. Also, don't discount or apologize for your work either. Again, ask a friend or family member for feedback. Don't go off topic. Stick to the theme or main idea. You can always write multiples of these. Don't make it too long or use words or technical terms that are too difficult for your audience to understand. You don't want people to stop reading. Don't use the passive voice. For here's an example of a sentence in a passive voice. My pictures often have flowers in them that I grow. Don't include everything about yourself from your bio. You can include a few key things, but an artist statement is a complement to your bio. Don't answer every question about your art or your photography. You want your viewer to keep coming back for more information from you and more images. So let's start with how to create an artist statement. Here are some questions to ask. Let's start with the basics. What type of artist are you? Are you a photographer, or do you do other things with your photography that turn them into art? What are your favorite subjects? Nature, wildlife, cityscape, food, architecture, portrait, etc. It can be as general as travel or as detailed as flowers, pollinators, or birds. What is the area that you specialize in? Do you visit and revisit the same place, taking pictures of the surrounding environment, the wildlife, and the plants as the seasons change? What type of photography do you like the best and take the most often? Is it macro, portrait, landscape, still life, wide angle, silhouettes, etc.? Why do you shoot this type of photography? Is there a backstory? What keeps you coming back? What is unique about your photography and your perspective? Do you have a technique that you can explain easily? And who is your audience? Even though the statement is about you, you need to connect with your audience in a personal way. The two most popular ways to engage an audience is either to teach or entertain. What information can you share that will help others? What story can you tell that is engaging to your audience? I think everyone loves a good story. Your creative process. How does it help your audience connect with your photography? How did you get that shot? What are the technical aspects of your shot? Where were you? Why did you take that picture? How are you feeling? What was your day like? Why were you there? You don't have to divulge every detail. You don't have to answer all of these questions. I think it's helpful to answer all the questions and then pare it down. But you want people to come back for more. So you want to just give them enough to where they will come back with more questions and get more involved in your story and why you were there. So start with a really compelling opening. And in the beginning, aim for 100 to 150 words. Many of you have already been doing this in your captions on your Instagram and Facebook posts. Write about some of the answers to the questions above. Then get some input from friends, family, and peers. Have 2 or 3 people read it and give you feedback. So here's just a small sampling of some of my favorite photographs. So after going through this project, here is what I would write as my artist statement if I was going to put this in a collection. Food and flowers with some carefully crafted still lifes. As a busy wife, mother, and teacher, I like to capture details up close. With a wide open lens and a shallow depth of field, I can spend an hour or 2 photographing creatively without ever leaving the comfort of my home in Austin, Texas. I love new and creative ways to showcase unique or even ordinary items. Now, if this was some sort of application for a contest, I would include information specific to the theme that they were asking for. And we'll touch again on this in a minute. All right, here's some things that your About Me page should include. You want to show you are credible, approachable, and likable to your audience. So a headshot. People want to know what you look like. Be yourself. Have a headshot that represents who you are. If you're casual and laid back, are you fun and surprising? Are you edgy and shocking? Are you formal and put together? Let your headshot show who you really are. In your bio, where are you from? What's your experience? Is there anything interesting? So I'm going to do a little bit more detail about your bio in just a minute on the next slide. But this is basically information that you would have on your resume, but not quite so formal. It can be a story, or it could just be bullet points. Is there anything really interesting that people might relate to? We'll go into a little bit more detail on the next slide. So start to include your awards and accomplishments, even if they might seem minor at first. Have you been in any contests? Did you win any awards or any recognitions? Have you been published? Do you collaborate with anyone? Does anyone use your photos, even for free? Make sure that you include it here. As you get more and more recognized, start to replace bigger awards with some of your minor ones. So here's more detail about your bio. Here's some questions you can ask yourself. Who's your audience? How are you like them? What are some of your experiences that make you credible? Have you done what you're trying to teach others to do? For example, in the beginning, I explained that I was an art teacher and involved in competitions to help my credibility. I also read my artist statement so that you would know that I've actually done what I'm trying to teach. Also, are you ahead of your audience in their journey? Can you offer them insight into your successes and help them avoid your failures and mistakes? Don't take yourself so seriously. People can learn a tremendous amount from your mistakes. Does your audience consist of peers that need support, have a common goal, a group that can rally each other, continue on if faced with difficult circumstances? Mention that you're available to be contacted. Offer to help others. People love to feel heard and listened to. Take time to respond to anyone who reaches out to you. After you've thought about the questions above, feel free to write a paragraph about yourself to your ideal audience. You can include your backstory and how you got started. And again, make sure you have someone proof it for you and give you their input. So on to themes. Themes, this is about grouping your work and describing pieces in a meaningful way. So look at your photos, your Facebook or your Instagram feed. Can you put them into groups? I bet most of you can pretty quickly. What do most of your posts have in common? What are their similar details? Are you seeing an overall style that you can describe? What is unique about you and your photographs? Include your favorite styles, subjects, and some techniques that you like to use. So I'm going to give you an example. This right here is an example of some of my food photography. And so I just wanted to show you a few examples, but I want to show you how I would do this with my Instagram feed. Okay, so just quickly looking, I just gave you 2 screenshots of my Instagram feed. I could quickly create 3 groups: flowers, food, and still lifes. Now I do have some outliers, some random shots like a storm here and a pond here and a rabbit here. But typically those are not the things that I normally shoot. And so those would be outliers, and I would leave them out of the different groups. So I would take these, and in each group I would write a little something about the technique that I use, or why I like the flowers, or where they come from. Let's just take the flowers. And that's how I would break it into a group. And I would have a small statement that kind of just focused on the flowers. That way I can now go out and look for either people who might need flower photography. You can take your grouping and your artist statement, and you can approach maybe a florist or someone that needs help that you could offer, and you can show. Then you basically have a portfolio of your work, and you have an artist statement that would hopefully get their attention. And so this is a way for you to look at contests that are specific. Like I know there are a lot of contests that are like for landscape photographers in this certain area, for nightscapes. There's all these different places where once you start to group your work and you have your artist statement, that you can quickly start to apply your work and offer it to other people. So one of the things that you can see about my work is it can also be divided into smaller groups. So my daughters are gluten-free, and so I spend a lot of time trying to perfect the best gluten-free dessert. So that could be a subcategory. It's even a place where I could reach out to some of the websites that I follow for recipes if their photography is not that great, and just say, hey, I would love to make your recipe, and maybe you would like to use some of my photographs. So these are just some ideas of why you want to group your work into different themes. So as a reminder, I just want to tell you that an artist statement will not just represent your work in your artist portfolio. It will also serve as an example of your professionalism and expertise. An effective artist statement will draw more people to your work, enhance their experience, and help them appreciate it. That's a quote from Capri Singh. And these 2 websites are some more resources and examples for you guys, because everybody kind of has their own flair. And so especially in that second one, there are artist statements included that are all different styles. I want to thank you for your time, and I want to encourage you to get started right away so that you're prepared when the opportunity comes. And please, like Linda said, reach out to me if you have questions.
So Karen, I'm going to get you to take that down. There was one question in here. Let me see if I can. I'm going to probably read it, so maybe so I don't misconstrue it. But Alice is wondering, what if you've gone back and forth on style or use a variety and just haven't settled on one?
Yeah, so that was what I was trying to, that's why I gave that example of Andy Warhol. So basically that's okay. So what you want to do is with your grouping, you want to put all of the photos in a certain group together and then just do a little explanation of that style. And so it's really a great way when you group your work to just be able to quickly, if you've already got your artist statement ready, to quickly be able to show someone that particular style if you're trying to either sell it or enter a contest.
Okay. Let me see. I don't see any other questions. If you ladies have any, this is a good time to put them in there. Karen always knows that I have an agenda. We're terrible that way. I'm terrible that way. So this is one of those selfish requests that I had of her, especially for the Texas ladies. I hope that you're taking notes, and this is something that you can share with other Texas photographers, because I'm hoping to get something off the ground, and you're going to need an artist statement for it. So with that, Karen, I'm not seeing anything here that has questions. As always, you always do like a very thorough presentation for me, and it's I think you've covered a lot of stuff in a very short amount of time. So if you guys have any questions, please reach out to her. So Karen, I'm going to thank you, and let me close you out real quick.
Sure.
If you guys want to connect with Karen, you can reach her at homeplate101.com. And if you're on Instagram, look for her at homeplate_101. Next month, July 7th, South Texas wildlife photographer and workshop guide Ruth Hoyt will join us to present Composition for Wildlife Photography. Please keep an eye on the Facebook and Instagram pages for upcoming programs. And until next time, please stay creative. All right.